I'm glad I made it on time. I had another meeting prior to this and had to rush home. And in that bargain, I crossed the red signal and was caught by the cops. The cop asked me, "Why did you cross the red light?" I replied, "We still have 30 seconds grace after the light turns red." Well, that's what we are taught in Toastmasters, isn't it? Good evening, dear fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Yes, we all know how important humor is in our lives. After all, in the words of the French author Victor Hugo, laughter is the sun that drives the winter from the human face. A sense of humor is a very important thing to have because when you get into an argument, one of the best ways to diffuse it is to be funny. Well, at least that helps me every time I am in an argument with my husband. When it comes to speeches, if it is used properly, humor is a powerful tool that can benefit speakers in several ways. For example, it creates a very good bond between the speaker and the audience. And there are many, many more benefits, and that's why you all are here today. Post the session, we will be having a Q&A round. So keep jotting down your questions and our Toastmaster Biju Verma will be moderating your questions to the trainer. So without further ado, let's welcome today's trainer, who is a surgeon with a good sense of humor. Lethal combination, isn't it? He is the perfect trainer for this session. Ask why? If all of you all remember, yes, he's the one who reached DTAC and Humorous on 4 occasions, won the DTAC Humorous in 2016 for this statement, ask why. And he's been in evaluations and international competitions many times in the DTAC. He is a consultant surgeon with NMC Hospital since 18 years. He's been a Toastmaster since 2004 and a member of NMC Corporate Chapter and Humoroids Toastmasters Club. He's been the area governor as well. He enjoys being a part of Toastmasters, enjoys being with his friends, and vice versa. I'm sure everybody loves being around him. He loves photoshopping and tries to be active by playing TT and running. I love running as well, Dr. Katrak. We should do a run together. So let's give a round of applause to the amazing, awesome, dashing DTM, Dr. Merezben Katrak. Welcome aboard, Doctor. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Devi, for an amazing introduction. Except for the last line which you added, you perfectly spoke whatever I told you to speak. This is the funny part. I say always the speaker thanks the MC when 9 out of 10 times the entire script is already given by the speaker. Anyway, that last line, I think it is good in humorous speech. You should bluff and make people laugh by saying I'm amazing, dashing and all. Now, I know all of you all have come here to find out whether you can be a DTAC champion in humorous speech contest. Now, how many of you all the lights, this is switched off. Can everyone switch on the camera for a second? How many of you all want to win at the DTAC? Can you put your hands up? I also wish to win at the DTAC. I have won in the humorous speech, but I would love to win in the international and the evaluation session too. Now, I must have realized, I've always noticed when many people have their hands up, still they have doubts because they feel some, like Devi, who's an amazing speaker. She may say, I've been here for only 1 year into Toastmasters. I don't think I can win. But at the same time, there may be others who would say that I have given an attempt 4 to 5 times, but I have not made it. So it is not in me. Now, for both of you all, I have something to share. The first thing is that in the very first year which I joined Toastmasters in 2004, I reached the DTAC in humorous speech contest. So it is not necessary that you have to be a seasoned Toastmasters to win. And for those who have given a trial, believe me, it took me 12 attempts. I failed 11 times before I won the DTAC. I don't think anybody out here has failed 11 times. So you have no excuse. I would say I won the DTAC not because I'm a good speaker, but because I have not given up. I did not give up at giving an attempt. So one thing I would say is never ever give up. Now, all of you all will say that whatever you do in life, never give up. So whenever you're arguing with your wife, You should not give up. Now for that, I have a simple thing. The biggest mistake is that you start arguing. That should never be done. I am married for 42 years. Exactly, it's not 42, it is 21. But living with her is like losing every year is like losing 2 years of your life. So forget about anything about humorous. One golden rule I would tell everyone who wants to have a happily married life is you decide whether you want to be right or you want to be happy. The minute you decide you want to be happy, you will never argue with your wife. Now, today I will be sharing with you all what I have learned from my mistakes over the last 12 years. You're expecting me to make you all laugh over the next 35, 40 minutes. I would say that you'll be disappointed, because when you're crafting a humorous speech, I think it is one of the toughest script, and you have to be really serious about it, because the result comes out the minute you finish your speech on the stage. The amount of applause, the laughter you get. In international, it is not there. So for humorous, you have to make a very serious attempt at scripting your speech, because script plays a very powerful part when it comes to humorous. Can I share my screen, please?
You can, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now, the thing, whenever it comes to the contest, you will always find the least number of people taking part in the humorous speech contest. Am I right? You'll always find 4 or 5 or 3. You're pushing the people, because there's something which is known as humoropathisophobia, fear of participating in humorous speech. People think that I don't have it in me to be a humorous speaker. You are not a born speaker. Look at me. I will show you something. This is a t-shirt which is given by my wife and daughter to be. Always 100% grumpy. They call me GOM, G-O-M. That is grumpy old man. So it is very simple. If I can make anybody laugh, any of y'all can make a humorous speech and make people laugh. So you are not born a humorous speaker. You have to make a humorous speech, and anybody can make it. So now, what are the qualities of a good humorous speaker? Everyone says, what is the quality? What qualities you have? Most important thing is you personalize your speech. Whenever you're speaking, and when you're speaking with your friends and you're talking about something which is close to you, people will laugh more, they connect more. So personalize your speech. Make people laugh at you. Now, does that mean you act like a joker with slapstick comedy? No, we are not. This is not a slapstick comedy. The advantage which we have is that humans enjoy seeing others suffer. It is very simple. You see someone slipping on the road and falling. First, you will laugh, and then you'll go and help them. See, this is my married photograph 21 years back. See, people are smiling seeing that photograph. That proves that anyone enjoys seeing others suffer. The next point is be original. Originality connects to the audience. If you bring points from outside, they will not enjoy it, because you, most of the time, as I told you, have a personalized story. In a personalized story, if you are using some material from outside, it will not be personalized anymore. Now, know your limitations. This is very important. Many people hear several champion speakers and then they want to act just like them. Things like singing, dancing. I'll give you my own example. When I was in India several years back, I was in the shower. I used to sing a lot. And coincidentally, at the same time, on the floor down below me, a kid used to be going to school. That child used to cry every day. One fine day in the lift, the mother and the child, and we were 3 of us were on the lift, and the mother tells this child, you see the sweet uncle? Every day I tell you that there is no monster screaming on the top. Actually, it is the sweet uncle who's singing every day. So that day I realized my limitations in singing and I stopped singing. When it comes to dancing also, I am a very bad at dancing. So I know my limitations. So you'll never see a song in my, you'll never see me singing in any of my speeches or dancing. Don't make joke at someone else's expense. A little fine, but if you're thin and you're making a joke on fat people, then it is what I call TTF. That is your ticket to failure. So you should be very careful about not hurting anyone in your speech. I had once given a speech on mustaches. So all the way through, I use my own photograph for mustaches. Most important thing, how do you find a topic? Anyone ask me a question, I don't find a topic. How do I find a topic? So what I would say is, you don't find a topic. Let a topic find you. Choose in advance means there's so many things going on around you. I had a speech on a person whom I met in the plane, Bunty business. So I just met him and then I connected it, and from that I made a speech. Most important is that look around you, you will find some topic somewhere. Choose your topic in advance. 15 days prior your contest, then it is a TTF, that is ticket to failure. You can't, if you want a good speech, you can't come out with a topic just 15 days unless someone, Hashim or someone is superb, someone like me, no way. Choose multiple topics. Right in the beginning, it is not that you focus only on one topic. Choose multiple topics, think about all of them. Then you just go on to one and focus more on that. These other topics you can use next year or you can use anytime in future. Keep on thinking about a topic. Whenever you're there, anything, you keep on thinking about a topic, believe me, you'll find some point or the other and it will be a part of your speech. Search the topic around you. You're seeing around you, see if you can find a topic in that. That day, means I spoke about bringing bad luck into my speech on Shake It Up. Anything I see around me, I can connect it to bad luck. Okay, it's a part of my speech. And the most important thing is note down your ideas. This is very important. You may see something, you will say, yeah, this is a very good thing. By the time you reach home in the night, 100% you're going to forget it. So note down your idea. Whatever you see, write it down. There are in your mobile, there are apps which are notes, just add notes. What are the topics? I have several topics in my over the last years. Demolition Day, first year which I took part. In this, it is about me winning a raffle coupon. My wife uses it, and at the end of the day, I win a raffle coupon of 1,000 dirhams, and my wife spends 5,000 dirhams. Aishwarya. When you go on the topic, you're expecting Aishwarya Rai, but this was the name of my maid, my full-time maid. And at the end of the day, she takes an interview of mine instead of me taking an interview. Bunty business. This is the one in which I talk about I'm coming back from Delhi to Abu Dhabi, and this guy Bunty, who's sitting next to me, he irritates me throughout the speech. He makes me fill up his forms, everything. That feeling at the end of the day is like everyone in the audience should feel like beating this guy up. And in the end, he gives me a chit. He's new to Abu Dhabi. He gives me a chit that if you have any problem, you contact me. I'm so relieved he's gone. And I read the chit and it is written, male nurse, Department of Surgery, NMC Hospital. So at the end of the day, after all this, I'm so happy he's gone, but he's right back with me in my department. My first funeral. This is about a speech in which I have never attended a funeral. I go to my wife's boss's mother's funeral, and all the way I mess it up. Right in the beginning, I think someone is filling up a grave, and I ask him, excuse me, is this Mrs. Gomes? And that guy says, is this your first funeral? I say, how do you know? He says, this is not a coffin, this is a septic tank. Then I go to a next one and someone sees my Toastmasters badge and asks me to give a speech. I have a wreath with me. I put down the wreath and I give an amazing speech about Mrs. Gomes. There's pin drop silence. And then I realize it's not because they are happy with my speech, because I'm attending a wrong speech. And then I go to a third place, I pick up a wreath and I go somewhere else. And one paper slips out from it in memory of someone whom I love. but I could not convey it. So throughout my speech, I have just messed up, and messed up. So it is a difficult topic, but then you should try and create humor from that. How to train a dragon? This is about, you can train a dragon, but you cannot train your wife. Silver Jubilee interview. I have given my 25th interview. I've not got a job, and I'm teaching people how to get a job. Liar, liar. In this speech, right from the beginning, I am just telling people how to lie. Important fact is that don't end such a speech by telling people that lying is bad. You have to convince them that the best thing which can happen in your life, you can achieve everything in the life by lying. Darling, I love you is again how a wife gets all her work job done by saying, darling, I love you, darling, I love you. Neelu the Great is about a patient, how that patient irritates me throughout the speech. Memories. This was about memory loss. I forget everything all the time. I forget my wife's dog in the house and the dog dies. And in the end, I'm on the stage. I don't remember what I am doing on the stage, and I walk off without even wishing the contest chair. Shake It Up was the one which I win. It is about whomever I shake hands with, I bring bad luck. If you see in the speech, throughout the speech, it is all about me bringing bad luck. I'm a surgeon. I promise the patient the best car possible. I give him a best car, but since I shook hands with the patient dies. I am a contest chair at one of the contests. None of them qualify because I have shake hands with them after they finish the speech. And it goes on and on. And in the end, till the end, I convince everyone that I bring bad luck to them. This is the last speech I gave, the COVID cut. During the COVID season, everyone was having long hair, and it was decided I'll have a haircut, and my wife gives me a haircut. And it's so bad that halfway through it, I'm supposed to rush to the barber. So all this is on COVID cut. Thunder Down Under, this is not my speech, but I'm adding it. This is about a speech a person spoke about farting. When I heard about the topic, I was disgusted at how can anybody speak about it, but it was one of the most amazing speeches which I have heard. So you may land up with a difficult topic, but it's very important how well you present it. So at the end of the day, from the topics, one thing you may have realized is that somewhere or the other, all these topics are connected to our day-to-day life. And that is the way you are connecting to the audience, because they may feel they are a part of the speech. And second thing is, many times the title has nothing to do what they're expecting from the speech. It is totally different from what the speech is. Now, I have a small request. What we can do, if time permits, at the end of the session, during the speech, you write down any topic on which I like, which we can see to it that we can write a speech on any topic which we have. So in the chat box, you write down topics, and the Zoom master in the end will note down all these topics, and we will have a vote as to which one topic or two topics we like the most. And if time permits, we will all together try and make a speech on that topic. Okay, so just put down any topic, whatever topic you feel you want to make a speech on, just write down the topic, and if time permits, we'll write a speech on that. The opening, sorry about this last minute, my slides. Very important that opening has to be very, very, very powerful. You can have props, jokes, funny quotes, incidences, gestures, song, whatever it is. But the most important thing is that your crowd has to laugh within 20 seconds. The reason being is that when you're in a contest, there are so many speakers, the audience is already fatigued listening to people. So within the first 20 seconds, if you don't make them laugh, they will get disconnected, they will go onto your mobile, and you are lost. And if you don't make them laugh, it is a TTF, that is the ticket to failure. The second important thing, it has to be related to the speech. At times I've heard a person having an amazing opening and the rest of the speech is not connected. People may laugh, but the judges have realized this, and it has to be connected. Body and jokes in the speech. Whenever you get an idea, write it down. Your speech should have at least 20 jokes. You may feel it is too much, but just imagine 20 seconds, you want to make the person laugh. That means each minute should have 3 jokes. So if it is a 7-minute speech, you should have at least 20, out of which 3 or 4 have to be unforgettable ones. Begin with 30. It is not that you have a speech of 1,000 words. No, keep on writing your speech, keep on writing jokes, and then shortlist them. Your first speech, your first basic speech should be around 2,000 words. And from 2,000 words, you should reduce it. Shortlist them, but save all of them. You don't realize sometimes one joke may come in use at a later date. Never say during your speeches, I have something funny to say. It has to come abruptly. The minute you say this, the expectation is high, people are not going to laugh. Involve your audience. This is TTS, that is ticket to success. The speech in which, if any of you all have heard of my speech, ask why. Throughout my speech, I'm asking, ask why. Now, please don't ask why. Do you think that you should ask why? The thing is, when I wrote the speech for my club, I only had 2 ask whys right in the end. And seeing the impact of that, I completely changed my speech, that after every 2 sentences, I should have asked why in my speech. And I think the reason why I won that year was everyone was saying, ask why. And they all asked during the speech. So involve your audience. Now, what is a good joke versus a correct joke? Any good joke is good, but is it the correct joke for your speech? So I have 8 F's for the correct joke. Most important, it has to be funny. I don't think anybody will argue about it. Every joke has to be funny. It should fit into your speech. What happens many a times, people change the speech in order to fit that joke inside. So don't change your speech to fit the joke. Change your joke to fit your speech. Your speech has to be very simple. Everyone should understand it. The minute you divert a little, it gets confused. Then you come back to the point. Just because you want to add one joke, you involve one new stranger or one person in your speech, and then that person does not exist during your speech, and you come back. That you lose your rhythm in the speech. If that joke is not fitting into your speech, don't include it. Don't change your speech to fit the joke. Change your joke and it should come into your speech. If it is not coming, don't use it. Fresh, it should be connected to your day-to-day It should be something which you are talking about nowadays. What I used in 2016, I was talking about Vijay Mallya. I shook hands with him. He landed up in UK. I cannot use it today. Today, if I want to use something, I will go on to this one's son. What's it called? That Aryan Khan. I can talk about him in my GHS. One more golden rule is your speech should have a fast ending. Maximum 3 sentences. I will say 2 sentences. Don't even make 3 sentences. The reason being, a long joke, you lose the concentration of your audience. Interval between pauses will increase. Audience will think about the end and they will not laugh. This is a ticket to fail, because such a long pause, they will think, okay, this is the end, and you have the same end, they will not laugh. And at the end of the day, if your joke misfires, you've lost almost half minute to 1 minute without a single laughter. The laughter is something, it is contagious. The minute you laugh, the continuity in the laughter is there. The people will laugh even if there is nothing to laugh about. But at 1 minute pause, you will lose your audience. Famous jokes. Something like, when a man gets married, he wears 3 rings. The engagement ring, wedding ring, and finally the suffering. Now, you heard this so many times, people are not going to laugh. They will not laugh. And the second thing is, they will know that this joke is not it is not original. Forwarded jokes. Everyone goes onto the internet searching for jokes. Forwarded several times. Now you see that arrow, multiple forwards are there. The minute you have that multiple Fs, never use that joke. repeated in several searches. When you're on the internet searching for something which is connected to, for example, I'm connected to funeral, that same joke, if I'm seeing multiple times, don't use it. Don't forward good jokes to Toastmasters on your groups. Use it in your speech. Make appropriate changes so that it connects to your speech. Focus or think a lot. There are some jokes in which you have a lot of thinking to do. For example, I'll give you one joke. What is wife is a short form of wildlife. How it comes is the first two letters of wild is WI and the last two letters is FE. It is a very confusing joke. Don't have time to think. When you're only focusing on that one joke, you may feel you will understand it. But when it is during a flow of a speech, people are not going to connect. You cannot afford to pause in expectation that they will laugh. And the worst thing which can happen is late laughter. Some of these jokes, people understand late and they start laughing late. By that time, you may have started your speech. So then you don't know whether you should proceed with your speech or stop. Because the minute you proceed with your speech, people will start laughing. If you stop, your continuity of your speech is lost and you can fumble for the next when you start again. Friends, narrate your jokes to your friends. What is funny to you may not be funny to others. But choose these friends wisely. I call the laughter scale. There are some people who have a score of 1 on 10. The minute you say a joke, they will automatically laugh. There are some which have a score of 5. And there are some which have a score of 10. However good the joke is, the one with that score of 10, it is very difficult to make them laugh. They'll just give a, okay. So don't use this 1 and 10 when you're narrating to your friends. Use your friends which are in that 5 category who will laugh at good jokes. If you still do not succeed in making your audience laugh, then you got a ticket TTF, that is ticket to failure. That means your jokes are not working. Types of jokes. Now, what are the variety? What style of, because there are different people having different styles. So what are the types of jokes you can use? Complaining jokes. These are the most common ones when husband and wife we are talking about. Misinterpretation of words. You tell somewhere and make the audience believe this, and suddenly there's a twist in your speech. I will tell you. A man is having a headache. His colleague at work tells him, believe me, whenever I have a headache, I go home, my wife gives me a massage on my head, and I'm feeling absolutely fine. This guy goes, he comes back in half an hour and he says, amazing, your idea was great. And I must say that your wife gives an amazing massage. So this is misunderstanding of words. Link jokes to Toastmasters or current events. For example, in Toastmasters, the speech which I spoke about in the funeral. So in that, I'm supposed to give a speech at the graveyard. So I start, respected priest, fellow mourners, and Mrs. Gomes in particular. Good morning to you all. So I connected this to the grave, and this is the way I connected. Twist in the end. You guide your audience towards one thing, and then you should have a different end. When I won the raffle coupon, my wife came rushing towards me, and there was a flow of 15 to 20 kisses on the raffle coupon. People were expecting that I got kisses, but the kisses were on the raffle coupon. Taboo jokes, be diplomatic when you have any taboo jokes. One thing wrong, and if the audience, someone gives a complaint, your entire speech, however good it is disqualified. So better don't use them. Formulas, personalize your speech. I used to, in my previous days, have DKTG rules. What is DKTG rules? Dr. Katrak's 3 golden rules. So if you have 3 golden rules or something in your humor, say something like DKTG. You can have any of your formulas, which people are going to recollect at the end when your speech. Ask why, people remember. Just like that, DKTG rules. People will have the rules, they will remember your speech for your rules. Songs, as I told you, I'm a bad at singing. You can actually change a song and fit it to your speech. In one of my speeches, I'm introducing my wife, and I go, this, what is it? Brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of the favorite things. In that way, I describe my wife. I say barista coffee and Swarovski rings. These are a few of her favorite things. I forgot the entire song, but the entire song, 2 paras, are on how I describe how my wife spends a lot of money and all. Don't end the joke. The thing is that I'll give you an example. Let the audience think about the end. I give a name, 5 or 7 names, and I say there are 2 common things in that. The first, all of them are names of females. And the second thing is, all of them are names of hurricanes. I don't know whether you have realized all hurricanes are named after females. I wonder why. And then I say, don't expect that I'm comparing my wife to a hurricane, because a hurricane comes, destroys, and goes. I don't talk about anything else. I'm not talking about my wife at all. So this is the way you end. Let them expect the end. Fit the joke into a story. One-liners are not allowed. Rule of 3. Try to use this rule of 3. Have 3 parts of your speech where you can use different 3 parts of your stage. Use 3 parts in every joke in which you can look in front, once on the left side, once on the right side. Till we don't have the stage, use the screen. Props. Use only if it has an impact on your speech. Ask yourself, will this prop have an impact? If not, don't use it. I'll give you my personal mess up which happened. In my funeral, I used the wreath and I took it on the stage. When I put it down, it broke into 2 pieces halfway through my speech. So the second half of the speech, I was wondering, well, I'll pick it up or I don't pick it up. And I pick it up, and the second half of my speech, I have a half wreath and I'm walking around with it. So only if some prop is really effective, use it. Sorry. Audience conclusion. Audience should be laughing till you shake hands with the chairperson. Unfortunately, when we are having it on the Zoom, you may not have it, but I'm sure we are going to go back. Your ending should have such an impact that you should be laughing till the shake hands with the contest chair. Need not have a message. Please, this is one thing I always tell them. You can never make a person laugh by giving a message. If there are no points for a message, none of my speeches have a message. If I'm telling you to lie till the end, I will tell you keep on lying. The take-off message that the audience should have is that he made me laugh. That is all the message. Irrespective, whatever you're talking about, there may be no sense in what you're talking about, but at the end of the day, you should make that person laugh. Never make it serious by correcting what you joked about. If you're talking about smoking, make people laugh about smoking, but please don't end by saying cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Mind about liar. I told them that the best thing in your life which can happen to you is that you can lie. Delivery. This is one important thing, the 4 P's, what we talk about: practice, 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 and practice. But what are you supposed to practice? Practice your script. 9 out of 10, and for example, me, my every word is the same during every practice of mine. Some people are skilled, they can change they only have a point and they speak about it. I am not like that. I practice my script right from the beginning till the end. Practice your delivery and pause. Whenever you're practicing right from the beginning, at that time only, you practice how you're going to speak about it and where you're going to pause. It is very important because you see that after some time, you must have practiced so many times that your positioning, your everything comes subconsciously. Practice your position. Whenever I'm practicing in front of my mirror, There are 3 tiles. I know which part of my speech I'm supposed to speak from which tile. At the end of the day, hello? Okay. At the end of the day, I'm subconscious. I don't even know. Automatically, I'm moving on the stage. Okay. And practice your timing. This is one very crucial thing. Many a times we don't realize our timing. 9 out of 10 times we'll end up going faster during the speech. I remember when I went to DTAC for the very first time, I was very scared I will overshoot my time. I finished my entire speech before the green. So time your speech. How do you time it? You should know which part of your speech comes at 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and 7 minutes. So that when that 5 minute is come, at that time you know at least to some extent, are you very fast or are you very slow? When you know when you're coming at 5 minutes and that green light is not on, gradually reduce the speed of your speech. If the green light is on and you've still got something to go, then you may increase the speed of your speech. Don't be fast. As I told you, it is a ticket to failure. If you are very fast, audience cannot understand your jokes, will not laugh in order to avoid missing out your next joke. Voice modulation, very important. It's very crucial to have voice modulation during your punchlines. During a punchline, it's very important to change your voice. Pauses, I think one of the most important thing which differentiates you from other speakers is when you pause. Before a punchline, whenever punchline is there, you have to pause and then give the punchline. During applause, many of times you should have that you're changing your point from one point A to point B where the applause are going on. Don't start immediately when the applause are still going on. People will stop laughing. And don't wait for all the applause to get over. As I told you, that rhythm should be there. So minute you see that the applause are reducing, they become less, immediately you start your next point. Your applause should not be too long. Stage is replaced by the screen. So now this is one factor. I am not experienced at all giving speeches on the Zoom in front of the laptop. But what I would say is use your space well. Don't use an animation background. You may end up seeing your hand and all disappearing. I don't think you're officially allowed to do so. As far as possible, have a clear wall or a curtain or something. There should be no distraction. Good internet connection, good lighting. Adjust at the same time of the day. What I mean by this is that you may have a speech in the evening. You practice with all your lights in the morning when it is bright. It may not work in the evening. So if you're going to give a speech in the evening, adjust all your lighting in the evening. If you're going to give a speech in the morning, see that one morning you adjust your lighting, adjust everything. Stick notes on your screen. I always have this habit. Whenever I'm speaking on the stage, I always have my notes in my pocket. There are times I've heard him during my own DTAC. One of the speakers, amazing speaker, he forgot his lines. Always keep your notes in your pocket. But if you are on a screen, I stick my notes of all the points which I'm difficult on the stage, on my screen, so that I can read them, not down. Timing depends from person to person. 7 minutes, keep time for applause. Words is 800 to 900 words are safe. Watch the lights and pin the timer. This is very important. Pin the timer. Know what comes at 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Prepare for omissions or addition at the end. If you know at 5 minutes you are too fast, goes down, go slow. You can add something. Or if you think you are too slow and should not have an abrupt end, you should have one part of your speech. If you omit, still the speech will not be affected. Watch the areas, have a video of your speech, watch the areas where you have a missed applause. This is one important thing which I did not learn for years together. Never repeat the joke expecting laughter at the next level. If there is nobody laughed at club, they are not going to laugh at area. Believe me, if you repeat the joke which nobody laughs at, nobody's going to laugh at the next level also. Change 30% of your speech at every level in humorous. Take a feedback. Remember the laughter scale. Someone who laughs not too much, not too less and all. And best of luck. That's it. Over to you. Thank you. How many minutes did I, if you don't mind, how many minutes did I speak?
35 minutes.
35 minutes. Okay. So I have got 10 more minutes.
You can take 10 to 15 minutes for the session.
Okay. Yeah. So and apart from that, this is 35. I have 10 more minutes for my session. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I have not seen the chats. Anybody wants to discuss on any topic? Anybody can put a topic, because I was quite boring. Anybody has any topic we can discuss on that topic for the next 15 minutes or 10 minutes, which I have. Or we can go to the question answer session in that much time. If anybody has any topic, they can on a sandwich. Okay. Any other topic? We'll wait. We'll have the question answer session. And then we have the sandwich, lollipop, Zoom master. Just take these topics down. And then we will think about those topics. And then we come. Can we start with the question answer session now?
MC to decide.
Yes, we can do either. Either you start, we have a couple of topics now. So perhaps we can start the speeches based on the topics and then go for the question and answer round.
Zoom master, can you put those topics on one and let everyone vote and decide which topic we can speak on? Then I'll try and see if I can, if we have time, the other topics also. And this part of it speech, I'm not going to do. I want each one of you all to come out with an idea on that topic. I want everyone to participate, because last time when I gave a speech, people spoke about breakfast and all the humor which we can get about just on the topic breakfast.
The poll is live now. Everybody please vote. We have received 65% of the vote. So if everybody can cast your votes, and what is the topic that you want to craft a speech on? Give it a few more seconds. Okay, so closing the poll now and share the results. So are you able to see the results, Doctor?
Yeah. So maximum we got is for good night's sleep. And the second one is dance. And third one is sandwich. Let's start. So 1 second, mobile. Okay, who wants to begin with good night's sleep? Anybody has any way to how to start this topic? Anyone
I
can
could.
just unmute themselves and start anything.
Okay, I could. Hemant here.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first day in office, and I enter into a meeting where everybody was discussing something very serious and nobody could read a conclusion. And then my boss says, guys, let's sleep over it and we'll come back to it tomorrow. And half an hour later, I was rudely awakened by my boss asking me why I was asleep in office.
Perfect. Superb. See, this is totally something different. This is not a common thing on sleep, sleep, sleep. Okay. So then, see, if you want to add your wife or something, the number of good nights sleep varies from 5 years of getting married to 10 years of getting married, 15 years, 20 years. And then for each of them, you can give some example of good night's sleep. Then again in the classes, what you told. In classes, we used to have an amazing time. Means I had this bad thing. I cannot focus. The minute it was 10, 15 minutes or so in school, I used to go to sleep. So this thing is about good night's sleep. Then you can focus about that. You can talk about that you're not getting good sleep and how you want to improvise on getting a good sleep. So you'll end up seeing these advertisements where they advertise about these such good bed mattresses and all and how expensive they are. And then you buy them and they are not worth it. See, what you should focus is that in your speech, there should be tragedy somewhere. You're not going to talk about the good qualities of a good night's sleep. There should be tragedy. You should look around and search that how you get tragedy. There is someone who can say that he sleeps too much and he's trying to reduce his number of hours of sleep, what he does and how it becomes worse. Or someone who sleeps too little and he wants to improvise and increase the number of hours he sleeps and how he messes up. So the main focus should be that you should mess it up. And the ending should be something like, I was much better off before I took up this plan. Anybody else about this? Speaking about sleep?
Yes.
Hi, Farida.
Can I say?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
about sleep, the first thing which is coming to my mind, I think start can be like, I washed my legs. Like I washed my legs. Well, it was evening time. I was about to sleep, but suddenly someone knocked the door. Like this thing which is coming to my mind first.
Yeah, it is okay. But see, again, Farida, you are spending too many sentences before coming to your point. And this is very crucial. In humorous, you don't build up a speech. You don't build up. It should come within two sentences. What is your point? And you ask yourself, what is the point? Are these sentences? And what happens is when you see a sentence, when you are writing a speech, when you're doing it the second time, your number of words in that sentence should reduce by at least 40%. Every sentence, whatever you've written in the beginning, the words in that sentence, next time when you're writing it should reduce by 40%. There should be enough words, one sentence, and that's it. And that person should laugh in 2 sentences, 3 sentences. No building up to get a 3, 4 points and then coming to your topic.
Okay.
Anyone else? See, you can be. Sorry, I'll just add one more thing. Means you can be a bit witty and saying that just after marriage, if a person has a good night's sleep, and then there should be some silence, you mean to say that actually after marriage, someone should not have a good night's sleep. But this, you have to be very careful. You have to phrase it so well that everyone understands it and it should not be too harsh or something like that.
Yeah, I just want to share something. My wife always insists that she should sleep first. Ask me why?
Because you snore a lot.
Oh yes, I think you you know it.
I'll
The
tell you
moment,
this.
yes.
Yeah. So snoring. I will tell you this is a true fact in my house. My wife has a Apple watch. I'm just looking around. She's not here. And that day she was hearing this, which you can hear all the noise, and she could hear a snore. So I said, what is this? She said, this is taping the snoring. I said, wow. Then she's saying, no, this is not my voice. The quality of this Apple is so good that it can even catch the voice of the person who's sleeping next to you. So at the end of the day, the end result was that snoring, in spite of the fact you could feel that watch was absolutely close to her nose, it was not her snoring, it was my snoring who's sleeping on the other end of the bed. So it is that way. Yeah, snoring, good night's sleep. You can go on to snoring and you can talk about a lot about snoring and what you did in order to reduce your snoring. And first of all, you accept you are not snoring at all. Any other points?
We could bring in sleepwalking also, right? I mean, good night sleep.
See, this is the thing, what you realize, one topic given to us, and within 10 minutes, we've come to snoring, we've come to what are different things, what to sleepwalking, and how in sleepwalking, where you landed up, your problem of sleepwalking, what have you done in order to reduce your sleepwalking. Over the next 5 days, you'll just focus on sleepwalking or on sleep, good night's sleep, and you will realize there are so many points coming from somewhere. You see someone sleeping, you see someone walking. See, with the last few minutes, we found at least 5 or 6 points. Elaborate on them. And I would suggest don't put too many things together. Means you focus on 3 or 4 points and elaborate. What we have is that we want to add so many points that then the effect goes away. It is like, for example, if you see my presentation today, I put too many points inside, which made the speech boring. Am I right? Something like that. Too many points, you try and finish every joke you have. If you want to fit into your speech, it's not going to work because the audience gets confused. So if you have this thing, if you're talking about snoring, you're talking about sleepwalking, and one more thing, take these 3 points and just focus on those points then. Okay, few points now on dancing. Okay, on dancing, I'll say I'm such a good, see, this you have to be very careful when you speak, you have to be careful with your audience. I'm such a good dancer that I have 3 left feet. I'm not going to say any more after that. Okay, and I just changed the topic after that. I'm telling you something, that day, I was dancing so well in my party in my house that we being all doctors, people thought I'm having convulsions and they started giving me this what to say. They started giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because they thought I was, you understand? So you have to exaggerate and you have to tell the audience, make them believe that you are the best dancer possible, and people don't realize your dancing skills. You have to be ignorant, and you should not say that, okay, that is the thing. Any other things? Anybody else comes with topics on dancing? Okay, you can talk about you're a bad dancer, you want to impress someone, and you join this dancing class, and how much mess you create them. At the end of the day, that people who are already in the class forgot how to dance. That you should be so effective. And when people going on the left, you have to stop and say either it is your left or it is my left, and you should be totally confused. And then you realize that there are means you have problems. So it should be that way. I'm seeing that red. Do we go into the question answer session? Or do we continue on this?
Please.
I don't see them. How many minutes have we crossed?
8. Now question answer session.
Okay, now we start with question answer session. We've got 20 minutes. I don't think people focus so much on my speech. If they don't have 20 minutes time, we can take up the third topic also. I don't recollect. There's one more, ride in an auto rickshaw. That is a good topic. Let us see. We'll have the question answer session and then we can go back to another topic if we have time.
Yeah, I think for the QA, I have not received much questions, or just one, I believe. But I want to ask you something, just like me, I find it very challenging to do a humorous speech. I can do an international, I can practice it, but I always wanted to do a humorous speech. As a person, I think when I was reading your profile, a surgeon who has plenty of accolades, plenty of certifications, plenty of workshop done in several countries, and there is no element of joke there, no element of humor there. And the other extreme is, I find it very challenging to even script a joke or script a humor into a sentence. So you are, I think, a master in both extremes. So what is your advice for someone like me listening to you today? Don't wait, just start. What is that?
See, as
advice?
I told you, first of all, look at me. As I told you, my wife and my daughter call me GOM, that is grumpy old man. And they have given me this t-shirt. 100% always grumpy. So you can't be worse than me when it comes to grumpiness and all. The first thing is that you have to believe in yourself that anybody can make a humorous speech. Trust me, anybody can make a humorous speech. Just now we talked about two topics. One is in sleep. You write a script, you have an international, if you want to really practice it, you are good in international speeches. You have your entire script of international. Every point in your international, try and focus and find out how you can make that point funny. It is don't even present that speech, but you will realize, sit on that point, think the same thing, the same words, how could I convert it into a funny experience? Believe me, in 1 week's time, every point of your international speech, you can find a funny version of it. It is just that you have to believe that I can make a speech. If Katrak can make a grumpy person like Katrak can make anything funny, I can make anything funny. And try to search how you can convert anything. You think of a topic and just keep on thinking, how can I make this topic funny? Think of a serious topic and say, how can I create? Anybody can do it, believe me. But as I told you, that once you get your own confidence that I can do it, automatically, once that minimal amount of confidence comes, you will be scripting your own humorous speech. And anyone wants help, I'll be adding my mobile number and my email address. You will get replies at odd hours of the day, but I will reply to anybody who wants help in humorous.
Thank you, Dr. Katrak. I will move on to the next question. It's again a fear. You have mentioned, I think, reiterated on the point that practice 4 times, right? 4P, practice, 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 practice. Now, if I am utilizing, the Toastmaster, I'm volunteering in clubs, in area, if, how to overcome that fear of losing the confidentiality of the script, right? If I have a script, I might have spent a lot of time bringing it down from the 2000 words to start to brought it down to 600, 700. Now I'm comfortable to deliver it. How to overcome that, during the practice session, and do we have to have multiple scripts where for practice we use something and then final contest use another one?
No, few things I'll tell you. One is that I practice when I'm doing a club or area contest, minimum number of time is 25 to 50 times I practice my speech. It doesn't come easy. I practice. Your practice should be such. See, the thing is, for you to have no fear, you should be confident in your script first. So you keep on practicing so that even if I wake you up in the middle of the night, you will be able to speak for 7.5 minutes without even thinking. Okay. Next thing is that what makes you nervous is changing your speech at the last moment. If you are new or something, if you are not very confident about humorous speeches, I will request you, don't change any part of your speech over the last 3 to 4 days. Don't change any part of your speech, because that rhythm, it is like what in India we call mugging. You have to mug your speech. But see, it's a personal thing. There are some people who are amazing. Every time you hear them, the sentence is totally different. They just have that point and they can speak on the stage. I can't. My entire speech, word to word, is the same 25 times. So once you have your entire speech by heart, you have the first confidence that I will not forget my sentences. The minute you know what happens, you will notice people who have not practiced their speech, the body language and all is not good. The voice modulation is not good, because all the time you're thinking about the next sentence, what will it be? The minute you have your speech perfectly practiced, and at the same time, I will tell you, practice your delivery, practice where your position. You do it 10 times, the 11th time, you don't have to think as to when I have to move. Your body will automatically move. Your voice modulation will automatically happen. All these things will come in. And the minute you hear yourself speaking so confidently, automatically that confidence comes in. But you have to practice. There are some people who are amazing. They'll just practice once or twice. They go onto the stage. Trust me, I'm not one of them. I'm practicing. For people who heard me in the contest, I am practicing my speech outside the auditorium till the one speaker before me is speaking. And I directly go in. That's the amount I practice. Because once you know your script well, and you need confidence and you need belief in yourself that I can win. Until you don't have that belief, nobody can help you. You cannot make a speech. The minute you say that I'm not a good speaker, humorous speaker, finish. Anybody can make a humorous speech. Practice, 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 and practice.
Thank you, Doctor. Moving on, I think there is a question. How do you judge audience response in a virtual speech? And
It
I
is
think
very tough.
Yeah, just to continue that question, I think you have mentioned during your workshop as well that you need to factor time for pauses for the laughter. So how do we consider this in a virtual screen when we are not able to judge?
Yeah, see, it is very difficult. Virtual, I'm telling you, giving the toughest, toughest speech to give is a humorous speech on in looking at a screen. But what I always practice is that the pause which you have for this laughter should be a time when you're moving your space at the stage. When you're going from one place, when the laughter comes, I am usually changing my position. So same thing you do for 2-3 seconds, you change your position. Just because you are on the screen, it's not that the person is not laughing. He may be sitting at home and laughing on your speech. So those 2-3 seconds, you're changing your position so it doesn't look like an obvious pause. Otherwise, I'll end the joke, I will wait for 3 seconds, and then I will start the next joke. That doesn't work. So always plan your speech so that when you're going from point 1 to point 2, you are moving on the stage. So that if a laughter comes, fine. If a laughter doesn't come, it is still seen as a movement, not that pause.
Got it. Thank you. Another question, I think this is interesting. This is not about humorous speech. But the question is, do you have any specific tips for people who are trying to engage some humor in normal speeches? And do you recommend that?
See, I will tell you something. That same joke, which is in a humorous speech, you may not get laughter, but you'll get a lot of laughter when you add humor to an international speech. Because nobody is expecting humor in an international speech. And always see, you see any international world champions and all, they have humor in the international speech also. Nobody likes a very serious 7.5-minute speech where you're making that person emotionally cry. If you bring them down, they have to bring them up. Definitely, I would say one of the secrets to success of an international speech also is some humor somewhere. Don't make it a completely international speech, a humorous speech, because then that message and all is lost. But you should have humor at least in 2 to 3 places. It should fit into your speech well, and the audience should not be expecting humor there. It will really work. And it is very easy to get 2 or 3 places in any speech where you can have humor.
Thank you. Next question. I believe you have answered this during the speech. Do we have to have a taken message always in humorous speeches, which you said no need?
No, no, there are no points for a message. You cannot, by giving a message, see, your end of your speech is very important. People should be laughing. You cannot have an end by giving a message and that message will make people laugh. You show me one speech in which someone has given a message and people are laughing at that message. Unless it is some funny thing which you say as a message. People know. But no serious messages, no take-home messages in humorous. I have never done it. I don't know. There are some people who say that, okay, this person has a message, that is why he won. Then I will call it wrong judgment, because there are no points for messages in a humorous speech.
And the laughter stops. I think you've also mentioned another important thing, that until you shake hand with the moderator, the laughter should continue, right? If there is a message, laughter immediately stops, I guess.
Yeah.
Another question. I wanted to ask, do we have time still? Timer, please.
2 minutes.
2 more minutes.
Okay.
So just want to quickly ask you, for international speeches, scripts from club, it may be a local type of script, then go to area division. And so I heard in one of the sessions that you may have to tweak it to fit for the wider audience. So for humorous, when someone grows up, progress up to the division and district, do they have to tweak the script, and what are those finer points which you would advise as a D-type
The thing is, as I told you, at least, say, you hear one joke. After 15 days, you hear the same joke, you're not going to laugh. Because you know the joke, especially the jokes which have a twist and all. So it is very important that 30 to 40% of your speech has to be different, because there's a new audience coming. And for that, and the other thing is, you do a video recording of your speech. There will be 30 to 40% of your jokes which have backfired. Don't include them. As I told you in my script, one of the points, if a person is not laughed at club level, he will not laugh at area level. I'm telling you, I have felt that no, this club is very boring. Surely people at area will understand this joke and they will enjoy it at area level. They have not. So 30-40% of your speech, you see it, it is a fact. Just remove that part of your speech, add something. If you really want to do it, the best part is people know your jokes. So first 50% of your joke has to be the same. And then the second half, because they are expecting you that you are going to end your joke in this way and then twist the joke. You will get much more applause, because they are ready with the end of your joke, and suddenly in the next level you have changed it. So someone who's new is going to laugh on it. Someone who's hearing it for the second time will appreciate that you have changed the joke and laugh. Try and see if you can you can change your end completely from the previous one, unless it's really good. In my speech, I shook hands. I said, if you want to know if I bring bad luck or not, the result of this contest will prove it, because I shook hands with all the other contestants. So now that was such an impactful end, I did not change it.
Thank you, Dr. Katrak, for your time. I believe we have consumed all the time. Back to MC, Toastmaster DV.
Just one point before I go. There are points which I have seen about wife bashing and all. Yes, wife bashing, Toastmasters. These are the things which people use. My sincere request is don't make an entire speech on these things. You will never succeed. Start to finish. 10 years back, it used to work, that your wife bashing start to end. Now it doesn't work. But use it as 1 or 2 points, 1 point on your wife or something, and 1 point on Toastmasters, something in your speech is fine. Use it as a part of your speech. Please don't make any speech on them. And as far as possible, avoid any jokes on COVID, because you don't know. Everyone has lost someone or other on COVID. COVID has got more stress, depression. People have lost jobs. Trust me, if your judges, some of them are emotionally being affected by COVID, you've lost it. So don't include COVID in any of your speeches. And humor, for example, if wife bashing, Toastmasters, 1 or 2 jokes is more than enough, not more than that. That's it. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Katrak. Yeah, for all the TTFs and TTS.
Yeah.
There are a lot of points which I think I was maybe struggling to take note of. I'm going to watch this recording again and again, because there are, I believe everyone would agree that there are a lot of tips, a lot of examples. You have gone a bit faster, but I think there were a lot of points which we could capture. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thanks, Biju.
What say, audience? Let's shake it up for Dr. Katrak.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for the rich learning that we've got today. We've all been blown away. With so many points that we've got today, I'm sure there will be no TTF for all of us here. I've learned a lot about incorporating humor in speeches. What I liked was the DKTG rules. What did you all learn, audience? Put in your chat box. Mention what all you have learned today and what is your takeaway from this session. I'm sure the audience are going to enthrall their families and friends tonight with their rib-tickling humor. Thank you, audience, for your presence and your support. You guys have been brilliant.